That's a nice bit of work done there. Smashed up 2 pine bed frames. They'll be going into the wood stove at some point. I'm not using that so much now that spring's here, but it still gets a little bit nippy at night time. See you, Roo. So let me show you what I've bought. Let's head back to the shed. Just finished refilling this bottle with one of these cheap gardening things, and it is propane. Yeah, butane propane mixture. Secret weapon these. You can pick these up really cheap. So I've refilled this using the refill valve. That'll give us some heat later on, because it is starting to get a little bit cool in here now. It's cooling off. But yeah, let me show you what I bought. So I've just picked up one of these. It's a Pifco hand warmer, and it's a power bank as well, and I've not seen that before. Now, I've been looking at these over the last few months, and I know what you're thinking. You must be mad buying one of them now. We're going into spring, but it is still a bit nippy, and you feel it later on, especially if you spend a lot of time outdoors like I do, messing around with all sorts of stupid things, really. But anyway, I thought the power bank feature was quite handy. You can use it for charging your devices, but I found another good use for this. But first, let's have a close look at the box, and then we'll have a look at what the device is like itself. Oh, and we'll also have a look, of course, what you get with it, what comes in the box. So we just have a closer look at the box. As you can see, it's made by Pifco. Says 5k milliamp hour. We'll get to that in a minute. It's a hand warmer power bank. Now, I've not seen that combination before. It's got overheat protection, 3 heat settings, LED power display, and an output port, just the one. Okay, we'll go into that in a minute. Instant heat, lasting warmth, and that's about it, really. Yeah, a lot of stuff on the back that don't really want to read. 5,000 milliamp hours, and that relates to the size of battery in it and the capability of the power bank. Right, let's have a closer look at it. So that's a quick look at everything it tells you on the outside of the box, what this thing does and all that. So that's made of cardboard. We'll recycle that. Over there it goes. Then there's a plastic tray, which the device sits in inside, and the cable and everything else. We'll get to that in a minute. That could be recycled, and it will be. And then we have the Pifco destruction manual telling you what all the pressy buttons and output and input sockets do and everything. It's quite easy to understand, really, and it gives you all the other specs of this device. I'll just keep hold of that because it's handy to keep these things. We have a USB to Type-C charging cable. It's not the longest one in the world, but it's still long enough to be useful. I'm using it for something else, not this thing, so I'll keep hold of that as well. And then we have the device itself, which is very nicely made. Let's have a closer look at it. Okay, so here's a closer look at this hand warmer power bank. And as you can see there in very faint writing, it says Pifco. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't make that stand out a bit more, you know, advertising your product and all that through visuals. You've got one of these little, you know, I don't know what they're called, lanyard or whatever, but, you know, holding it so you don't lose it. And you've got some outputs here. So you've got mini USB charging, you've got Type-C charging, and this is the USB out for when you're using it as a power bank. Now that will, you know, you'll be able to just put normal USB in there to Type-C or micro USB, mini USB, whatever you call it. Sorry, it's micro USB, that, isn't it? Yes, I always get confused between them two. And there's your display, and there's the on-off button. So if you press it once, it shows you how much charge is in there. And I've been using this, so it's down to 46%. If you long press it, just wait a minute, it turns it on. So that's at the first setting, which is 40 degrees. And just look for the button, press it again. 50 degrees. And then press it again, and it's 60 degrees. And I tell you what, this thing is, even on 40, cycle through again and get to 40, even on 40, this thing's getting hot already, and this thing gets really hot. Top and the bottom side get really hot. Nice, feels nice in the hand, and yeah, it's pretty sturdy, well made. And to turn it off, it's just find the button again, one long press, and there you go, it's off. Traditionally, or usually, I'll keep some of these things around. They're called hot hands, and they're basically just two little bags with some granules in them that once the air hits them, they heat up, and they give you about 10 hours heat. And these are handy things to have around. You can keep in your pockets, put your hands in to keep your hands warm. If you've been out and your boots are wet, you can stuff these inside your boots and they'll dry your boots out. And some people who do overnight camping will lock these in the bottom of the sleeping bag that they're in, and it'll heat up the sleeping bag. So these are handy to have, and I'll always try and keep some of these around. Like I say, these last for 10 hours. Now, the Pifco hand warmer thing doesn't last for 10 hours. I think you might get about 4 to 6 hours on this, depending on what temperature you're running. Now, I think this is handy to have around, as well as these, because you're not always going to have these around, but you're going to have this around. And as long as you make sure it's charged, you've got some heat. You can, like I say, you can hold it, put it in your pocket. It'll probably do the same thing. Put it inside some wet boots. It'll help dry them out. Or inside your sleeping bag. It'll certainly heat that up if you're sleeping overnight somewhere. But the other thing I've found about this is I suffer from some lower back pain sometimes, as we all do when you've been working outside. And if you press this against your back and lean back against the pillow, oh my God, it gives you great relief. Same with just above my knees, I get aching muscles, and you can leave this on. Like, oh, what an old fart, eh? But anyway, this has happened, so it's great for a muscle relief, especially if you just rested on your back, your shoulders, and that. You get great relief from that. So I think this is a great little thing. It cost me $9.99 from Home Bargains, and I'll tell you what, when I go back there tomorrow, I'm going to pick up another one, because I think these are really handy to have, and I can't believe the amount of heat this gives out. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So, great little device, very cheap. It's only a short video this week. I've been extremely busy this last week. That's why this is late. But I thought you might like to see this, and I'm quite chuffed with it. I've always been thinking about getting one of these, and I'm glad that I did. And it's quite handy that it's a power bank as well, because you can use it to charge your phone up in an emergency. Just remember to take a USB to Type-C charging cable with you, or whatever it is you need. Right, time to go in and have a beer, I think.